Hi, it's Dr. Craig Dingman, and you're getting this link. It's because you've decided to start this process of neurostructural restoration in our office. And I wanted to take some time to give you some extra tips and hints on getting the most out of your care. So I want to emphasize that this process is not intended to be a passive one where you just come into the office and we do things for you and you get on your way. You have to be actively engaged in this process to get the most out of your corrective care. So this is called the Get Better Faster workshop, because if you follow the recommendations we talk about today, you definitely will. But before we go there, I'm going to start this slideshow. I want to talk about having you figure out what is it that you want. So many people come into the office because they have a pain or a symptom and they want to recover from a condition. And certainly that's going to be our short-term goal with many of you. That'll be top priority for starting. Some people want to improve their performance more and more in this day and age. People are beginning to understand that having a properly functioning spine and nervous system is going to help their body perform better. Protecting your future health. This is a big one for me personally. I want to be doing things 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now that I want to do. I want to have an active lifestyle. I want to be able to still enjoy life. And I realize that the things I do now and the decisions I make now with respect to my health are going to affect my health later. So I want to protect my future health. And maybe you want to maximize your potential, understanding that as humans, we have no idea what the ceiling is on human potential. And there are loads and loads of things we can do in this day and age to increase our potential, and chiropractic from the corrective model is definitely one of them. But it's not enough just to know what you want. You got to figure out, why do you want it? You have lots of people come in talking about things they want, but they don't have a big why. They don't have an underlying reason. And I would suggest it would really benefit you to spend some time thinking about this, right? Is it that when you have kids and grandchildren, do you want to be able to be active with them and enjoying life with them? Do you want to make a contribution to your community and have an impact? Do you want to leave a legacy? And if so, you're going to have the health and the stamina and the energy to do it. Do you want to focus on longevity? Right? You want to live a long life and have it full of things and memories. You want to maximize your current life enjoyment. So are you just kind of getting through with life? Going to work, coming home, and crashing, and you're not able to engage in life with the energy and the ability and the mobility that you want. And I would say these are all underlying reasons, or your big why, things to think about. And having an understanding of what this big why is fuels your motivation on those tough days when you're making decisions about, the donut, the apple, the couch, the walk, those types of things. Or happiness. People who are healthier feel better and are happier. There's no question about it. There's a huge connection between physical well-being and emotional and mental happiness. Let's talk about what health is. You can think about health on a continuum. So at the far left here, where it would be no health at all or death, and at the far right would be 100% health. My question for you, and I did ask you this in your initial visit, is where are you on this continuum? What mark out of 100 would you give yourself? And moreover, what do you think you would need to do proactively, as far as your lifestyle goes, to shift you to the right, to closer to 100% health? At the left is disease and symptoms, and at the right is function and optimal health and wellness. Let me regale you for a while with the most amazing doctor in the world, who is Dr. Yu. Now, don't tune out, because this is really, really important that you get this and understand how your body truly works. So your body is made up of cells. Have you ever thought of how many there are? Well, there's between 50 and 100 trillion cells within you that make up you. Pretty complex, right? And on a regular basis, every second of every day, your body is continually remaking itself, meaning your cells and organs are replaced on an ongoing basis. Well, what do they use for building blocks? You guessed it. It's the foods that you eat are broken down into the building blocks and then used to make you again. And different structures are replaced and regenerated at different rates. For example, the liver, every single cell in the liver is replaced in 24 to 28 days. So in less than a month, every single cell in your liver is brand new again. Your skin cells, about 11 days to 3 weeks, depending You ever burn the roof of your mouth when you get that piping hot piece of pizza out and you're so hungry and you can't wait? You know you should wait because it's steaming, but you don't, and it burns the roof of your mouth. It takes about a week and a half. Well, your taste buds, every single one of your taste bud cells are replaced within 11 days. And all of the structures of your body work like this, even your skeletal cells. So even your whole your whole skeletal system will be replaced in 1 to 7 years, depending on the source. So pretty amazing, the potential for healing if we just change the environment within which our cells live. And that has to do with our lifestyle choices. It's critical to understand that the master control center of your body is your brain. And your brain uses your spinal cord and the nerves in order to conduct messages to and from the brain and the different cells and parts and organ systems of the body. So to have this system open and unimpaired, where the messages can freely flow from the brain down the spinal cord, out between the bones of the spine, along the peripheral nerves to the organs, the muscles, the glands, all those structures, is going to be critical for function, healing, and regeneration or recreation of you. And if there's interruptions along this pathway, then it can diminish your health. This is where chiropractic comes in. This is not me. Fortunately, I can say that this is some guy with swimmies. Well, why do I have a picture of a man sporting his swimmies here? It's because I want to create an analogy for you on how your lifestyle impacts your health. So imagine you are a guy with swimmies or a girl with swimmies. You're floating in your pool. Let's say you're not a great swimmer, but you got these swimmies, so it's no problem. So the comparison would be in your body, you have these systems to keep you healthy. These systems, you have this adaptive ability within you to keep you afloat or to keep your health. That would be like the swimmies. And as long as you've got these swimmies on, you're not overloaded, your health's going to be fine. But imagine also while you're floating there with the swimmies, you have a backpack on, and people start putting rocks, or you start putting rocks in your backpack. And those rocks represent the lifestyle choices that impair or hinder your health. So imagine one of those rocks might be a sedentary lifestyle, right? You're inactive. Imagine one of those rocks might be you're overweight. One of those rocks might be you're only getting 5 to 6 hours of sleep a night instead of 8 hours. It might be financial stress, emotional stress, poor diet, you name it, a car accident, sports injuries, sitting at a computer all day, the chronic microtrauma of bad posture, driving your car. All these things are a physical and organic challenge to your body, and each of them is like a rock in your backpack. And your swimmies will keep you afloat for a while if you just have a few rocks in your backpack. But if you get too many rocks in your backpacks, sooner or later, the swimmies aren't enough to keep you afloat. You start going under. You got to kick harder and harder to stay above. More rocks go in the backpack. Sure enough, you're going under. In health, that looks like symptoms. So if you have symptoms or malfunction in your body, that means that the rocks in your backpack are outweighing your swimmies. So one of the things we got to do is figure out what are some of the rocks in your backpack. I mentioned a bunch of them already. They could be financial, nutritional, trauma, micro-trauma of our phones and our laptops and our desk work and improper postures, all these sorts of things. But all these things are rocks in our backpack. And how do we get them out? Well, we're going to talk about that today, because the degree to which you have success and good results in our office will hinge a lot on you proactively getting as many of these rocks out of your backpack as you can. So I would say the first way to get the most out of your care, to get the best results, is to stick to your appointment schedule. So the schedule that we've created for you is not arbitrary at all. What I've given you is the minimum number of adjustments in a specific interval for you to get the correction that we discussed. And if you fall off that schedule, then you will begin to diminish your results. I don't add extra appointments. I don't give you a buffer. What I've given you is the minimum schedule required to get to achieve the results that we discussed. So if you miss an appointment, make sure you call and make it up. Karen's going to phone you. She'll stick to the schedule. I'll be asking you about it. But we feel that part of our job is accountability. We want to hold you to your schedule. So this is really important. And the research does show that spaced repetition with corrective adjustments is what's really important for changing the position of your spine and the function of your nervous system. Because in a lot of cases, we have to undo long-standing shifts in your spine like this one, and it will take time. So stick to your schedule. Number 2 would be nutritional. So if you want to augment your care, you can help by turning down your inflammation in your body. And the most important way to do that would be to eat real food. If you did nothing else in your nutrition at all, except for just eat real food, your health would radically change in a very short period of time. So the question I ask is, how many ingredients does real food have? Well, 1, right? So if you just sought out and ate more real food, there would be a tremendous improvement in your health in a very short period of time. And with respect to nutrition as well, I would say that if you began to consider protein as the center point of each meal, and then augment that with loads and loads of veggies, so sort of no limit on vegetables that surround the protein. And the protein should be about the size of the palm of your hand. That would be an adequate protein size for an individual. And then just fill your plate with veggies, and you want to build in healthy fats. That would be a meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, and as you learn about this process at our Eat by Design workshop, you'll understand that every meal, doesn't matter what it is, can look like this. These 2 meals up here could be breakfast, and quite often those would be a version of my breakfast. And if we build in lots of protein and especially vegetables and healthy fats, that allows us to eliminate or at least dramatically reduce the simple carbohydrate that we take in. That's the beige food. We want to really begin to eliminate or certainly reduce drastically the amount of beige foods that are simple carbohydrates. So beige foods like your cereals, your muffins, your bagels, your pastas, your crackers, all those foods, comfort foods that we love, are really just sugar that promotes inflammation in our body, and it's going to make your healing process very difficult and a lot more slow. So plan to attend our Eat by Design workshop. So we will have several workshops in the beginning portion of your care that are no charge to you. Movement, nutrition, these things. And you're going to learn the nuts and bolts about how to turn down the inflammation in your body and facilitate your healing. So if I haven't given you tickets for that or scheduled you, make sure you ask me about that, because it will be really, really important that you attend our Eat by Design workshop. Sleep is another critical part of this process. So how much sleep do you get, and how much do you think you should have? Most people I see on their intake forms are getting somewhere between 5 and 6 hours of sleep a night. It's not nearly enough, not by a long shot. 8 hours of sleep, 7.5 to 8 hours every adult needs. You're not going to heal and repair adequately if you're not getting enough sleep. A lot of people wear their 5 to 6 hours of sleep a night like a badge of honor. Like, oh, I get through my days, no problem, I get by in 5-6 hours. Well, you can get by, absolutely. Can you get by optimally? Not a chance. And if you're undergoing a process of corrective care, are you going to be able to regenerate and heal as well with only 5 to 6 hours of sleep? No way. Sleep is when you heal and repair. It's when you lay down new muscle, when your joints heal. And you got to get 7.5 to 8 hours each night. So we do have sleep tips. So I know a lot of people struggle in this day and age with getting a good night's sleep. I have a sleep kit that gives our sort of top tips for sleeping. If you go on my website, it's elevatechiropractic.ca. Down the right-hand column, you'll be able to enter your email address and grab our sleep tips. It's a whole kit. It's a PDF file, and you can look through that, so that'll help you and guide you in creating an optimal sleeping environment at home so you can get a better night's sleep. All right, you knew I'd mention it, exercise. Simply put, people cannot be healthy without regular exercise. It doesn't matter. This is a critical part of being human. We are motion machines. We're designed to move in a variety of different ways. You've got to exercise basically daily. You got to do something. So flexibility is a huge part of that. It's really important to have your mobility and flexibility. So things like yoga, Pilates, Tai Chi, these are really important activities. We do teach a Move by Design workshop. So this is a spine-specific component of your recovery. And at that, I've got like a 5-minute per day, head-to-toe daily mobility routine. So I'll teach you how to mobilize in all the ranges of motion, every single joint in your body from your head to your toes and everything in between. So plan to attend our Move by Design workshop and we'll actually teach you how to do that. We instruct it. A couple questions here. Can you bend forward at the waist without bending your knees? Can you touch your toes? You should be able to. Can you reach behind your back with one hand over your head and one hand below under your shoulder and touch your fingers together both directions? Try the sit to stand test. Some of you did this in your initial, some of you didn't, but you should be, as a goal, trying to work so that you have the mobility and the strength where if you stand up and cross one leg in front of the other, you can sit down on your buttocks and come right back up to standing without using your hands, elbows, knees, or anything. Really important indicators of mobility. And we will teach you how to improve your mobility at the Move by Design workshop. So again, if I haven't given you tickets to this, please let me know. Tickets are included with your corrective care program. And that's when you'll learn the nuts and bolts about how to move properly in order to recover. And I think also it warrants talking about having a vision for your future health. So what I've seen time and time again over the almost 20 years that I've been in practice is that people who have a vision for their health always get the best results. If you don't know where you're going, how will you know how to get there, or how will you know you're there when you got there? This is an example of a vision board. So one of the processes I go through periodically is I have a cork board above my dresser, and it's got things that I want to be doing in my future right in front of my face each day. So for example, I would have maybe like a grizzled guy with a gray beard. He's 25 years older than me, and he's hiking in the mountains, or he's downhill skiing or something like that. So those things allow me to envision my future health, and they help me make the day-to-day decisions that are going to move me toward my future health goals. And last but not least, I want to just encourage you, if you feel like this freight train is your health moving in the wrong direction, don't be discouraged, because you're not alone. A lot of people are like that. And it is possible to put the brakes on this train, to slowly slow it down, and then stop it and put it in reverse and start it shifting the other way. And, there's this hierarchy of health changes that we're going to coach you through as we go through this process. And at the fundamental base of it is a properly functioning spine and nerve system. And then we move up with things like nutrition and activity and mind state. But these things are really, really critical. And don't be discouraged, because we're going to help you slow down this freight train and eventually come to a full stop. And then we're going to help you fire it in reverse and start pushing it back the other way and help you reclaim your health. Today is step 1. And here are some action steps I want to give you to encourage you as you start this reconstructive process. 1 is stick to your appointment schedule. 2nd is to eat real food, especially with protein as a center point, with more vegetables, and try to reduce your grains. I know it's hard to do, because in this culture, we're built on, Tim Hortons and muffins and bagels and pastas and all these toast and all these things. But inflammation in your body will turn down as you begin to eat more healthy fats and good proteins and eat less beige food. Increase your activity levels and mobility. We should be doing something active every day, especially if you commute to work, sit at a desk, commute home, and then Netflix through most of the night. You've got to build in some activity in every single day. And we're going to teach you spinal mobility at the Move by Design workshop. Get 7.5 to 8 hours sleep every night. That's when your body will heal. So if you're not getting adequate sleep, you're not getting adequate healing. Really, really important. You can grab our sleep kit if you need tips on how to generate a better environment for a better sleep. And generate a vision for your future good health. You got to know where you want to go, and you got to be able to see it on a regular basis in order to help you make better decisions day in and day out with respect to your health. Because the reality of it is that your health is a fluctuating sum. It's a sum of all the big and little choices you make with respect to your health day in and day out. You make better choices, health goes up. You make poor choices, health goes down. And it literally fluctuates almost minute to minute, hour to hour, certainly day to day, based on your choices. And the crappy thing is that your choices throughout your life have brought you to the state of health that you're at right now. But the inspiring aspect of that is that as you begin to make different choices, you can create greater and greater health moving forward. So that's what I want to leave you with, encourage you with. You are in control of your health. Be proactive. Take some action steps. And please, by all means, if you have questions, ask them on an ongoing basis. I will always make time, whether it's at your regular checkup or through email or a text. Let me know what you're thinking, and if you have questions, I want to get the answers for you. We're here. We're in your corner. We want to partner with you to improve your health. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Hope you enjoyed the workshop. See you at your next checkup.